What does it mean to be a software developer? I invite you to think about it in this talk. Good morning, and welcome to CAS 2015. Thank you for coming. I am Carlos Ble. I'm your track chair. Javier Acero was supposed to be here, but unfortunately he broke his knee. So Javier, I hope you get better soon, mate. Take it easy. Some people know me because I'm the main author of the first book on TDD in Spanish. It was self-published 6 years ago already, 6 years. And I have to say that it's already out of date. Someday I will rewrite it, someday before I die. In the meanwhile, you can better read Kent's book or any other original book. I am part of a bigger team, Carlos Ble and Associates, and we are a proud sponsor of this conference. I want to say thank you to the conference staff for inviting me to this massive conference, and congratulations for the amazing work done. They are a non-profit organization, and look, it's almost, they are gathering almost 700 people in here, not 700 people, and it's this beautiful venue. So I think it's mind-blowing. Please make some noise for the conference staff. Now, English. Why am I talking in English? Because in reality, I speak Canario. It's my language that I know the best. I asked the organization whether this talk had to be in English or in Spanish, and the answer was, whatever you want. My question had to do with the name of the conference itself. It's Conferencia Agile Spain. That's Spanglish, right? It will be Agile Spain Conference or Conferencia España Ágil. But the truth is that I cannot blame anyone, because I took part in the first edition back in 2009 in Madrid. I wasn't organizing, but I helped. And I was one of the first members of the Agile Spain community. So it's also my responsibility, the name. But it's something that is not clear in my mind today. You know, our problem with English in this country goes beyond this conference, obviously. It's a nationwide issue. Let me illustrate what I mean.
So let me tell you a little more about my beautiful hometown, Madrid. Madrid is one of the most comfortable, charming, and inviting cities in the world. Indexing cup, relaxing cup, leche, more, in Plaza Mayor. Relaxing cup of café con leche, in Plaza Mayor. Relaxing cup of café con leche, in Plaza Mayor. Just like all of Spain, just like all of Spain. It's food.
So the singer was a mayor of Madrid a few years ago. So now I have a question for you. Should I talk in Spanish from now on, in Canario, or should I carry on in English? It's your choice. So please raise your hand if you want me to keep talking in English. Half the people, so what do I do? Spanglish, right? Muy bien, Spanglish then. I worked a year in Dublin, Ireland, or Dublin, as the Irish say, back in 2007. And the idea was to learn how to think in English, how to dream in English. And that changed my career completely. I joined Alcoholic Anonymous after that. No, just kidding. I love Ireland and the Irish. As a professional developer, moving abroad improved my self-esteem. My understanding is that software was invented by Americans, pretty much. So the techniques, the paradigms, the tools that we use are either invented by Americans or British, English-speaking people. Otherwise, we would have never suffered from the ASCII encoding, right? So being able to talk to them shortens the learning curve, the learning path. I always encourage people to move away, to move to some English-speaking country for a few years. So if you want to learn English, don't move to Germany. Germany is cool, but then you can learn German. I think the last project that went wrong was because we used a dynamic language rather than a static one. No, that's never the case. It's never the case. So in my experience, the projects fail because of the people working on them. I've worked in projects that didn't even go live. Budget was gone beforehand. I've also worked in Frankenstein projects. They went live for a few days, then they died. I see you too. I've been also working for the body shopping industry. I've been a hamburger myself. And all of this happened because we didn't build the right thing. Either the business strategy wasn't appropriate, the requirements were misunderstood, there was not enough communication, and many other reasons related to people interaction. I also worked in the rescue of projects that were very successful in the past, but now they cannot evolve fast enough to fulfill customers' needs. So they are losing market share quickly, and the top managers have turned on the bad signal, waiting for the bad money in desperation. And this happens because they didn't build the thing right. So improving the software means a lot of things. Do you know these guys? I need some more air. I took this picture from Carlos Buenos Vinos' site. One of the goals when these guys sat down to write the manifesto was to bridge the gap between stakeholders and IT people, or managers and developers. Now, 15 years later, do you think we have achieved that goal? This is an open question for you to reflect on. Bridging the gap is also the goal of this conference, in my opinion. I hope you enjoy the inspiring talks, workshops, chats, and working. So don't be shy. Talk to the people that you don't know. Share what you know. And share your concerns. So back to the question, what does it mean to be a software developer? Usually, junior developers believe that they have to write as many lines of code as they can per day, as if the payroll was proportional to the amount of lines written per month. For some developers, things like listening to customers, gathering requirements, strategy, analysis, architecture, risk management, infrastructure, teaching, code reviews, deleting code, cleaning code, facilitating, testing, mentoring, delivery practice, and many other things don't seem to be part of their job. They are too busy. I have been like that, I must say. Who else was like that? Raise your hand. Many of you. And by the way, one day, all of a sudden, some of these happy, speedy junior developers were told to move to project management. I hope that's not the case of your recent project manager. So I leave the question open for you as well. What does it mean to be a developer? What do we get paid for? It's an interesting topic to bring to the bar. The world needs empathy. Trying to think from the point of view of my customers is always beneficial. It's revealing. As a manager, if you were a manager, or if you were a customer, would you hire yourself? Would you hire your team? What would you change to feel proud of yourself and your team? I believe that developers, we have to do a better job at speaking the language of the business. A few examples. If your manager asks whether a certain feature is going to be delivered on a certain date, and you do know it's absolutely impossible to make it on time, then why you just say, you know, it's really hard to make it on time, but I'll do my best. Is this familiar to you? Because they don't like to hear it's not possible, right? But in reality, in their language, what that means is I will work really hard, I'll make it on time and with a decent quality. It will work. That's a message that they will understand. And the day of the deadline, stakeholders will face an unpleasant surprise. The features will not be ready, and the software will be full of defects. A very tough situation for everyone in the project. Instead, if you will tell them, I'm sorry, but it's absolutely impossible, that's a reality, then perhaps they are able to find some workaround before it's too late, perhaps. Another example, if you need to pay down technical debt, don't ask for permission to clean up the code. They don't know that the code gets dirty. So you should say something like, you know, I need to spend some time working on this so that the next feature is going to be developed faster. Something that they can understand. Remember, the customers and managers don't necessarily, well, most of the times, they don't know what are our duties and responsibilities. So you have to explain yourself in a language that they can understand. Don't ask for permission to perform tasks or to make decisions that they don't understand. And there are more tips that you will learn during this conference. So you, developer, want to improve the software? Then change yourself. Be the change you want to see. That's what Gandhi said, one of my idols. And the change happens from the inside out. I like this quote that says, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Beautiful, right? I often hear rants like, no one in my company is doing TDD, so I want to work in a company that is doing some TDD or something else. So if you know how to do it, if you are more productive using TDD, then use it and help other people in your organization learn it. If you don't know how to do it, then learn it first, but not with your customers' money. I don't think customers have to pay for our learning curve. Companies may help us evolve and learn. It's definitely nice to work for a firm that hire trainers, mentors, sends you a few days a year to some conferences. But eventually, it's your own responsibility. Your own career, your career is your own responsibility. You can't blame anyone else for your lack of knowledge or your lack of motivation. Intrinsic motivation is way more powerful than extrinsic motivation. So find out what are the things that motivate you. At least, don't do the things that you know are wrong. If you know it's wrong, then stop it. Developing software is fun. Enjoy this conference. Thank you.